Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham, and on today's show, we got another mock draft for you guys, but I wanted to do a mock draft as if the Bears get the number one pick, because if they win this week or if the Texans lose, we won't have a chance to do a mock draft as if they were to have the number one pick. So I wanted to do that for this show. Now, these, of course, are the scenarios for the Bears entering Week 18 in terms of what pick they could end up with. Lowest pick they can get is fourth. Of course, they could get all the way up to number one. Right now, they have the number two pick. Their paths are very simple. To get the number one pick, Bears lose, Texans win. To stay at number two, Bears lose, they're automatically in there. Texans lose as well. If the Bears win, they could still get the number two pick. If both Arizona and Denver win, they would get the third pick with the win and one of Arizona or Denver winning. And then they would fall to the fourth pick with the win and both Arizona and Denver losing. Keep it simple. Lose, you're guaranteed a top two pick. Lose and the Texans win, you get the number one selection. So what do you guys think? Predict it for us. Will the Bears get the number one pick in the 2023 NFL Draft? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Go ahead and lay a prediction for us down in the comments section. All right, so as you could probably predict, we're trading down from the number one pick, to say the least. And I was offered this, and I kind of wondered, could you get more? But I thought it was a pretty decent haul, moving down 4 spots. So the Bears move from 1 to 5 with Indy, pick up 2 second-round picks this year and a third, a first and a second next year. So you're dropping 4 spots and picking up 2 seconds, a third, a future first, and a future second. That's a pretty decent haul. Maybe you could get an additional pick in there as well. It'll be interesting to see how much value that number one pick ends up having. So in this mock, with the number 5 overall pick, I went Myles Murphy, the edge out of Clemson. I don't believe I've drafted him in a mock draft until now, up to this point. We've done, 7 or 8 of these now? Been doing one every single week for quite a while. Myles Murphy, 6.5 sacks last year. I think he has about 20 sacks in his 3-year career at Clemson. Physical type of player, can stop the run, and at 275 pounds can kick inside occasionally if you need him to as well. Great size and explosion. That is what you see when you watch Myles Murphy. Keep your minds out of the gutter. Great size and explosion for Myles Murphy. 6'5", 275 is what he's listed. Maybe he's more like 6'4", 265, 270 because, college rosters tend to inflate height and weight, but very big player. Like, he's much bigger than a Will Anderson, for example, who's a lighter edge rusher. So it'll all depend on what the Bears value at the top of this draft. I think trading down to 5 and getting a guy like Murphy would be pretty good value. Should the Bears trade down from their first draft pick, whether it's the first pick, second, third, or fourth, or should they keep it? Type T for trade, type K for keep. Let me know what you guys think and how you guys feel about that on this one. I'm pretty firmly in the trade down camp, especially if the Bears get a top 2 pick, but if they take a Will Anderson, a Jalen Carter, or something like that, I wouldn't completely hate it as well. All right, round 2, pick number 36. One of the second-round picks I picked up in that trade from Indianapolis. Rashee Rice, the wide receiver out of SMU. I think I took him in a mock earlier on. It's been a while, but really productive for the Mustangs in his college career. Over 230 catches, over 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 13.4 average. I think he's like 6'2", 210 pounds, pretty good size as well. Good route runner. He's getting some first-round buzz. He might sneak into late round 1, and, we'll continue to show the receiver depth chart. Now, Equanimous St. Brown, he's back on a 1-year deal for next year, but, again, you want him to be like wide receiver 4. Ideally, Mooney would be your 2, Claypool your 3, and then you get a number 1. I'm not saying Rashee Rice can come in and be that right away, but he could definitely be a top 3 guy, I think, on this depth chart. You need more wide receiver help. At least 1 guy, if not 2, to help this unit out moving forward and to give Justin Fields some more weapons. All right, sticking in the second round, this pick, of course, from Baltimore. John Michael Schmitz, round 2, number 55 overall, the center out of Minnesota. Again, I think I may have taken him one time before. It's an interesting draft for centers. There's like 4 or 5 pretty good ones in like the 2nd to 4th round that I think could start. I mean, you think of Cedric Van Pran out of Georgia. John Michael Schmitz is another one. There's a guy from Oregon, Forsyth is his last name. There's a few of them in this draft that I'm pretty intrigued with. I think Notre Dame has one as well. So I think there's a decent chance the Bears could address center in the NFL draft. Now, Rocket Money is sponsoring today's show, and we greatly appreciate that and their support. And you guys should go support them by downloading the app and by doing so, you're going to support yourself, because what Rocket Money does is helps you stay on top of your finances and your expenses, and it'll help you save money, because you can cancel any unnecessary subscriptions that you may have with Rocket Money. Go download the app today. RocketMoney.com/BearsNow. It is RocketMoney.com/BearsNow. Link in the description of this video. You'll be able to see all of your subscriptions on one screen. Netflix, Hulu, The Athletic, Spotify, whatever it is, and you'll find out just how much per month you're spending on subscriptions. And if you decide you want to cut back, click cancel, and they will cancel those subscriptions for you. Very user-friendly app. RocketMoney.com/BearsNow. Go check them out today. All right, let's get to the third round here. Pick number 65. Dalton Kincaid, the tight end out of Utah. So Dalton Kincaid is a really fun player. He's a little undersized. He's not the best blocking tight end, but I think as a guy, if you're looking to improve this offense, and I think in this offense, tight end is a position that can be used a lot, you pair Kincaid, a legit weapon as a receiving tight end, with a guy like Cole Kmet, who's, not been shown to be a guy that can go for 800 or 900 yards as a tight end, but has 6 touchdowns this year. That would be a fun 1-2 punch, whereas Kmet's more of your traditional, he's running some routes, catching some balls, but he's a pretty good blocker. Kincaid, maybe he's not blocking as much. Maybe he's more of that route-running tight end. I think that'd be pretty fun for this offense. Tommy Eichenberg, round 3, number 73 overall, the linebacker out of Ohio State, tackling machine for the Buckeyes. He might be the best pure off-ball linebacker in this draft. 120 tackles, 12 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, had a pick. I think he had a forced fumble as well for Ohio State. Just solid, just rock solid. He's not the best athlete. He's not going to, come get you 6 sacks at the linebacker spot, but a good tackler, instinctive player. Sticking with Ohio State, it's Dawan Jones, their offensive tackle. Now, Dawan Jones is listed at 360 pounds at 6'8". Ryan Poles likes lighter offensive linemen, guys who are more mobile, but at his size, he is pretty mobile. And, we saw a guy like Larry Borum shed 30 pounds. So could he get down to like 335, 330 with his decent agility he already has and be a solid right tackle? I think it's certainly a possibility. Would Poles opt to go in a different direction at that spot? I think that's definitely a possibility as well. But he was the best tackle on the board when I picked here, so I opted to take him. We'll see how Poles and this staff view someone who's probably a little bit heavier than what they would like on their offensive line. If you guys want more NFL draft videos on Chicago Bears Now, then subscribe to us here at Bears Now. We're publishing mock drafts every week. We'll certainly increase our draft and free agency coverage once this Sunday comes and goes and the regular season finally comes to an end. Subscribe today. It's youtube.com/Bears Now. We will have you covered for the next several months leading up to April's NFL draft. All right, day 3 picks now. I'm going to botch this. Ruke or Horo. That's not even close. I looked up the pronunciation. We're just going to call him Ruke O because he is dominant as a college defensive tackle. It's a tough pronunciation. Ruke, I apologize. We'll work on that. But he's good. He can play 3-tech. He can stuff the run pretty well. So I think in round 4, pretty good value here. Kenny McIntosh, round 4, pick number 131. I like his ability to catch the football out of the backfield. And you look at what he did that against Ohio State. 70 rushing yards, 56 receiving, had a touchdown in that game. Kenny McIntosh is kind of a do-it-all back. And think if you lose David Montgomery, he's a much better pass catcher than Khalil Herbert. So you would like your other back that you add in with Khalil Herbert to be able to catch the football consistently, and McIntosh can do that. Let's not get him confused with Christian McCaffrey. He's not going to catch 100 balls or anything like that. But Khalil Herbert's improved as a pass catcher, but that's not really the strength of his game. McIntosh is a guy that you can, work screen game with and dump it off to as well. Speaking of McIntosh and the Georgia Bulldogs, who you got in the national championship game? Who do you guys think will end up winning it all? Type TCU for the TCU Horned Frogs. Got to throw up the Frogs, baby. I'll be out in Los Angeles. Me, producer Jack, will be out there doing our Bears watch party. It's going to be a blast. Type UGA for Georgia. Hey, if you're wrong with the Dogs, it's all good, but I'm going to be repping the Perp here on Monday night. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Parker Washington, the wide receiver out of Penn State. I'm a little surprised that he's consistently sitting here in like the 5th round of these mock drafts. I think he's a 3rd, 4th round talent, but who knows? He is only 5'10". Not the fastest guy, but he's solid, man. I like his game. I think he could be a special teams guy as well. His numbers dipped a little bit this year compared to last year, his best year in 2021, but I like Parker Washington. Didn't exactly have consistent stellar QB play at Penn State with Sean Clifford, the Red Dog, but I think on day 3 it's pretty good value. A couple more guys here. Corey Trice, the corner out of Purdue, 3 interceptions this year. I believe he transferred in and played pretty well. He's a guy I like on day 3, good size as well. And then here's an interesting one. 7th round, pick number 197, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback out of UCLA. No, I'm not trying to get rid of Justin Fields. But here's what I will say. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is a experienced player, 5-year starter for UCLA, 70% completion this year, over 3,000 yards, took care of the football, ran the ball well and effectively as he's a good athlete, 12 rushing touchdowns. DTR would be the ideal backup quarterback for Justin Fields long term because you kind of think of like Tyler Huntley in Baltimore. He's not the most talented backup, but he fits that system because he's mobile and they can use the QB run game. DTR can do that as well, so I'm very, very intrigued by him as a potential backup option. Grade today's Bears mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. Red pen time. Let me know how you guys felt. I operated as if the Bears have the number 1 pick, so give me an A, B, C, D, or F for this mock draft. All right, we'll kind of recap it here. Myles Murphy, after trading down for number 1, the edge out of Clemson, I get him with the 5th pick. Rashee Rice, the SMU wide receiver, number 36 overall. And then John Michael Schmitz, the center out of Minnesota at 55 overall. Dalton Kincaid, the Utah tight end in the 3rd round. So is Tommy Eichenberg and Dawan Jones, a couple of Ohio State Buckeyes. Eichenberg, the linebacker, and Dawan Jones, the offensive tackle. Ruke O in the 4th round out of Clemson, defensive tackle. We're going to work on that last name. Kenny McIntosh, the Georgia running back in the 4th round as well. Keep an eye on him in the national title game. Parker Washington, the Penn State wide receiver in round 5. Also in the 5th round, Corey Trice, the cornerback out of Purdue. And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson, round 7, pick number 197 overall. I think a potential backup for Justin Fields. So drop those letter grades in the comments. Let me know how I did on this mock. And by the time we do our mock draft next week, we will find out if the Bears have the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, or the number 4 pick in the 2023 NFL Draft.